There's a simple framework that you can use to convince anyone of anything. If you use it, your chances of convincing someone to go up infinitely, basically. And if you don't, I can almost guarantee you that you're either going to run into issues, run into conflict, you're never going to get your point across, or if you do, by happenstance, win the debate, they're going to resent you for it, and it's not going to last, not going to stick. So let me illustrate this with a story. And it's almost a silly story, but it encapsulates what I'm trying to tell you perfectly. A while ago, I was talking to a family member, and for whatever reason, the subject came to the dodo bird. You know the dodo bird? They're extinct now. And the story that I was told in school, and that was usually believed, was that the Dutch, my people, ate all the dodo birds. So they went overseas to where the dodo bird lived. I forget where he lived now. Forgive me. I'm not that excellent at topography. Anyway, so, and they go there, and the dodo bird was like a 1 meter bird. He was fat, was a land bird, and apparently he was delicious. So, and the Dutch came off the boat, hunted that animal to extinction, and that was it. So, subject comes to the dodo bird, and my family member says, yeah, we hunted that animal into extinction. And I know that's not the case, because a while ago, don't ask me why, but I think I saw some documentary about it or something, or I read an article, doesn't really matter. And it's actually much more complex. The reason for extinction is much more varied than people realize. So what I did was what most people would do in this situation, is that I said, no, that's actually not true. And you know what happened? My family member said, yes, it is. And this is what happens on a daily basis with a lot of you. You want to get a point across. It can be something super innocent, like, the dodo bird, or it can be a sale, can be in a romantic sense where you want to, get your point across or convince someone of something. And now you sort of get stuck into a rut because you say yes, they say no, you say black, they say white, and now you're stuck. So let me give you the framework, because what a lot of people do, this is very popular on the internet as well, on YouTube, on discussion forums or chat rooms or whatever. People start fencing with their logic, trying to flex on other people with their massive logic skills. And they say, no, because what I read is this study, and then really you're wrong because X, Y, Z. And if you do that, the other party, the other side, is going to dig in even deeper. Because one thing that people really, really, really hate to do is admit that they're wrong. People don't like that at all. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So the first thing that I want you to do, first step in the framework on their level, get on the same wavelength. And the best way to do that is to agree with them. Now, in this case, we have our dodo problem. And we don't agree because, I'm right, they're wrong. So how do you do this? Very simple. Framework is, I used to think the same thing. I think I used those exact words. Like, you know what? I used to think the same thing. We got taught that in school. You read that everywhere, right? And then I found out, this is the framework is, I used to think the same thing. And then XYZ happened. And then I realized that ABC is actually real. So in this case, yeah, we got taught that in school. I thought the exact same thing. Like I'm with you. That's what I'm trying to get across here, right? I'm with you. And then I saw this documentary, and you know what's weird? Like, obviously, yes, we hunted that animal, and we probably ate a lot of dodo birds. I'm still agreeing, right? But you know what else happened? On the ships, they took other animals with them. So obviously rats, that was mostly an accident. They didn't want the rats on the ship, but rats do what rats do. And then the dodo bird, because it was a land bird, he had his nest on the ground, and the rats got to the eggs. So they started nibbling away at the dodo population. And then we also took chickens and pigs, and they did the same thing. So they sort of started eating the food that the dodo bird loved to eat. So really, like you're right about like us hunting them down to extinction. I thought the same thing, but all of these other things also came into play, and like a big combination of things that made the dodo bird go extinct. Now, if you notice, I've made my point, and it's very, very easy for the other side now to say, yeah, I didn't know that. You're right. That's very interesting. Because they don't have to dig in. They don't have to admit that they were wrong. Because I just said, I agree fully. And then I found out this, and then that led me to a new conclusion. And you sort of take them with you on a journey to a new point. This is a super effective technique in sales and in all sorts of discussions where you can take someone from, yeah, I was with you, then I found out this, and now I realized this. I used to think that, blueberries were the best fruit available and they were amazing for your health. And then I found out about this weird, like African shaman guy, and he actually sells enchanted strawberries. And it turns out that if you eat those, you get superpowers. And I tried it out and it's amazing. So you should try these enchanted strawberries. They're awesome. Same formula. You never, ever, ever tell them that they're wrong. That never works. It never works. And even if you win the debate, even if you crush them with your logic and your reasons and your verbosity, which is amazing, and your eloquent words, it doesn't matter because you're telling them that they're wrong. You want to give them a good way to save face. Super, super important. Give them a way to save face. Never make them admit that they were wrong. Take them on a journey with you. Make it easier for them to say, well, now that you say that, yeah, you actually have a point. That's very interesting. It works because you start out by building common ground. You start out by agreeing with them. Most important step in convincing someone of anything is making sure that they understand that you're with them. I'm on your side. And now we can get started. You don't want to start out adversarial because it's just going to butt heads, not going to get you anywhere.